There's somebody who has asked a question here.
Yes.
Is it true that most deaths on campus students are directly or indirectly related to matters to do with intimate relationships?
And that is what we are saying. That there is a lot of relationships problems, toxic relationship. Actually, we call it toxic relationship. Any relationship that makes you feel like killing yourself. So today we want to talk about stress management emanating from suicidal ideation.
Right.
Because even yesterday, jana kwa gazeti ilisema death on campus. Now, the newspaper talked about a number of students that went to the university to read, went to the university and the parents were expecting them to come with a graduation gown, to come with a certificate, you know, so that people can celebrate that you went there to acquire a career, to acquire, you know, a certificate or your academic education. But the sad thing is quite a number go back home in coffin. And therefore it has raised a lot of alarm. It has raised a lot of distress. Yes, it is painful that your child goes to school, to the university, and finally they come back in a coffin. But however, even as we talk about this death on campus, I want to say this. As much as there are deaths within the campus, as much as there are people dying within the campus, there are also so many people dying outside.
Exactly.
So the campus or the university is a reflection of the society. It is a reflection of the society. What is happening in the society there is what is happening in the campus realm or in the campus setting. So as much as it was written there, death on campus, and it's looking like these are things that really happen in campus. But what I'm saying is this, that as much as there are deaths happening in campus, there are deaths happening outside. As much as there are suicides happening in campus, there are suicides happening outside. As much as there are murders happening in campus, there are murders happening outside there.
Exactly.
However, we are here to talk about it.
Now, Madam Joyce Mghoi,
yes,
you are a psychological counselor.
Yes.
And now, what do you think is causing these deaths on campus, mostly on campus students?
Mostly on campus students. There are a number of things that actually bring this. First of all, we need to talk about this suicidal ideation. Suicidal ideation is frequent thought of death, especially if we are talking about suicide. Because we have suicide, we have murders. We have suicide, we have murders. So those people that go through suicidal ideations, it's just a frequent thought about death or about dying. Frequent thoughts about ways to die. Frequent thoughts or belief that you don't deserve to live. Belief that you are troubling people. Belief that you need to stop to stop living. So we have people that have suicidal ideations. And we have different types of suicidal ideations. We have the active suicidal ideation. The active one is someone who has probably even identified how they are going to do it, you know, how they are either going to, take their lives. They have even identified a weapon, or they have identified something that they will be able to take, or somewhere where they will jump, from. That is active. But then we also have passive. Passive is that one of someone just sometimes, going to bed and saying, I wish I can just sleep and not wake up. That is passive. It's not really active, but it's just passive. That I wish I can just disappear. I wish I can just, sleep and not wake up. And then we have another one, which is called existential crisis. Now, existential crisis is where someone is asking themselves, what is the meaning of life? And I think at one time, maybe all of us, we have asked ourselves that question. What is the meaning of life? Yes, what is the meaning of life? And sometimes it happens after probably a major event. It happens maybe after a major event, either a very good event or either a very bad event. A very bad event can bring that life. Life is useless. Life is what? Like I met a friend over the weekend, and she told me that they had gone to bury someone that they were with, who died on a Sunday, and they were with on a Friday. On a Friday, they were with that person, they were working together, and then on Sunday, they're being called to be told that so-and-so has died, has not been sick, he just collapsed and just died. So then after that, there is that question of existential crisis. What is the meaning of life? What is this life? Then it also happens after maybe an achievement of something major. You've achieved something probably you really wanted to achieve, and then you are there, and then you realize the excitement is not as much as you had before. So you start asking yourself, is this really what I was looking for? What is really the meaning of life? So such thoughts are very overwhelming, and they bring a lot of hopelessness. They bring a lot of unsureness. They bring a lot of frustration, and sometimes someone is not able to talk about these particular feelings, or is not even able to start. How do I start telling people that I'm having these suicidal ideations? Now, while such thoughts are actually common, we need to know that it comes as a result of mental health problems. Mental health problems. That is what brings some of these suicidal ideation. Somebody has a mental challenge. Somebody, is going through frustration, or is going through some things that are not very good. This is what brings these particular things. And sometimes it can also come as a result of chronic illness. That somebody probably has a chronic illness, and then they're asking themselves, now, what is the use of this life? Do I really need to live? Chronic illness. We also have psychiatric disorders where someone, is depressed, or someone has a challenge. We also have impulse control disorder. Impulse control. Someone is just impulsive at the moment of time. They're just impulsive, and they just want to do something which is drastic, something which I've always said here, don't use a permanent solution to solve a temporary problem. There is also abuse and also trauma. Traumatic events can also bring this. Post-stress disorder, where someone went through a stress situation, but now they are reliving that particular incident, and it's bringing a post-traumatic stress disorder. A situation that happened last year, a situation that happened 2 years ago, but they are still living that particular feeling. Then we also have domestic violence, can also bring this. We also have access to weapon. We have family history of suicide. We have some families where you hear maybe their father committed suicide, the son has committed suicide, and it's very, very unfortunate. Even as I talk about it, it's not a very good scenario. We also have things like prescription drugs. People taking prescription drugs, and the drugs are just bringing a depressive mood. They're just feeling depressed. They're just feeling, they are not themselves. We also have substance and alcohol abuse, or substance and drug abuse. This is also very, very common. And actually, this is one of the common ones, especially in a place where there are youth, a place where there are youth, many youth, with a lot of freedom. Many youth with a lot of freedom. There is a lot of substance abuse and drug abuse. We also have things like relationships. And actually, most of the ones that happen also in campus, they happen because of relationships.
There's somebody who has asked a question here.
Yes.
Is it true that most deaths on campus students are directly or indirectly related to matters to do with intimate relationships?
And that is what we are saying. That there is a lot of relationships problems. Toxic relationship. Actually, we call it toxic relationship. Any relationship that makes you feel like killing yourself, just know that was a toxic relationship. Because a healthy relationship should make you be able to take care of yourself. A healthy relationship should help you be able to stand on your own.
Build yourself.
But now a toxic relationship makes you become what can I call? Makes you become somebody who cannot be able to stand if that relationship breaks, or if that relationship is not going on well. So yes, a number of them could happen because of relationship. Like now, some times back, we had a student who had jumped from a fourth floor. Is it fourth floor or fifth floor in a certain university? Why? Because of the broken relationship. We've also had situations like a student in Eldoret, a university in Eldoret, where the boyfriend just traveled from Thika to that place, and he just killed this girl. It was her birthday, and he had gone there to celebrate birthday, but he saw this girl is, and he just killed this girl. So those are some of them that have happened because of relationships. We have had them. Even in Meru, sometimes back, we had a young man went to visit a girlfriend there and decided all of us will go. So killed the girl and killed himself. So yes, some of them are because of relationships.
Now, madam, just cut you short.
Yes.
But then still on that relationship.
Yes.
Does it mean that getting too much attached to someone, not unless you are married, it's a problem? Because I think that's one of the reasons that makes people die.
Now, what I can say, a healthy relationship has boundaries. A healthy relationship has room. Room to say yes or room to say no. A healthy relationship has room to say, I think for me, I want to progress with my studies and I'm seeing that this relationship is not going to help me do that. Can we give ourselves time so that I can concentrate on my studies? And everything goes on well because you agree and you say, okay, it's okay, let us now concentrate on our studies. But now, if it is an unhealthy relationship, you find that this person is so dependent on the spouse that they cannot hear anything to do with either a conflict or separation.
Right.
And sometimes it's just a conflict that maybe will take 2-3 days and everything will calm down and all of you will come back and solve that problem. But now this person, once you start having a conflict with them, once you have a conflict for one reason or another, in their mind they read rejection. That person reads rejection. In an unhealthy relationship, they read rejection. And therefore they feel there is no need of continuing to live if you have rejected me. You are probably the only person. Maybe I love you so much. There is nobody else that I can love the way I've loved you. And therefore they feel that they cannot continue to live. So they become desperate and then they commit suicide either, or they kill the spouse and they kill themselves.
Karibu tena, Madam Joyce Mghoi.
Yes.
Now, how should these students stay safe in colleges and
in
universities?
campuses? Actually, the newspaper yesterday wrote a student's guide on leaving college in one piece.
Exactly.
And they said here how to stay safe in college or in the university. The first one they said is try to stick to travel routes and avoid being alone in lonely routes. So use the routes or use the roads that are commonly used. Usitumie shortcuts ambazo huzielewi. Maybe they are not they don't have very many people. Don't use vichochoros, use well-lit roads. Number 2, they said lock doors and secure belongings. So if you are in a place, please lock your doors, lock your premises nicely, so that when you're inside and someone wants to come in, they should knock, so that you know exactly who is knocking and then you open for them, not just somebody forcing themselves in. Number 3, they said, beware of visitors to your hostels. That there are people there that will come to the hostels and some people don't know exactly which room they want to go to. Wanabahatisha tu, especially if it is ladies hostels. Wanagonga, wanaingia, wanaangalia hapo ni nani yuko, wakisikia kukaa, wanakaa, and these people you don't know them. They have just come to visit and yet you don't know them. So you need to be very aware of that and then have a plan if you go out. If you're going for an outing, if you have been called for, an outing or something like that, have a plan. Don't rely on someone to drop you. Don't rely on someone to help you in any way. Have a plan. Know exactly how you're going to leave that place and what time you're going to leave, and have resources with you so that you can be able to leave that place if you wanted to leave. Number 5, they said, beware of the safety services available in campus. And this is very, very important. In the campus, we have security. We have a good security, actually, within the campus that can handle student matters. We also have the Dean of Students office. We have counseling offices. We have medical clinics or medical or health centers. We have all those. We have career offices. So there are a number of places that can be able to help them. Available services in the campus, they are there. Then report any suspicious activity or any suspicious person. Report any suspicious person, any suspicious activity around. If you are alone and you are listening to music on and you are using headphones,
Yeah.
please just use one ear headphones, the other one iache isikizange nini niko around you. By the way, Kigogo and James,
Yes.
have you ever had a situation where a student was actually crushed by a helicopter when he was using headphone?
Yeah.
And people were shouting around to tell him, watch out, because the Nini was coming down. The helicopter was coming down. There was an accident. And actually he was crushed. He was crushed because he was having headphones, and he could not even hear the helicopter coming down.
The volume was too much.
He could not hear, and people were shouting at him, watch out, please be careful. And he didn't hear, and he ended up being crushed by this helicopter. And we have had also people who have gotten accidents because of that. Maybe a truck has lost its way, you are on your headphone, and you are not even, maybe it's coming from your back, you can't hear, and you end up being hurt. So if you are using headphones, kindly just use one ear. Do not let anyone you don't know into your home or into your hostel. Always follow the guidelines set by the institution.
Right.
And then students are also advised to be respectful, cooperative, helpful, and also to share responsibilities with their roommates. So there are some guidelines that they have given in this paper, because I told you this story was in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt that we needed to talk about
Exactly.
it. So those are some of the things that they need to check.
Yeah.
Other than that, if someone has suicidal ideations, what should they do? Again, they visit the counselors. We have therapists. We have people that can be able to help. We have therapists that can be able to help. We have counselors that can be able to help. We have also religious leaders that can also be able to help. Go and share with someone. And sometimes a problem shared is a problem half solved. Is a problem half solved. Because as you are sharing it, you are listening to yourself.
Exactly.
As you are listening to yourself, hata saa ingine unaona uko na kaujinga kidogo. Ukiendelea kujisikiza, sometimes una realize, I think hapo niko na kaujinga kidogo, though. So you end up reasoning, and then you end up feeling, I think I shouldn't be thinking like this. These are not really good thoughts. So share with a therapist, share with the counselors, share with the religious leaders, and then ask yourself some pertinent questions. You need to ask yourself some very pertinent questions. Questions like, maybe you have a great career. Why would you want to kill yourself? Why would you want to kill someone and be locked? Why would you want to kill yourself? Why would you want to kill the other person? You have a great career ahead of you. Why would you want to die? For what reason would you want to die? You probably have a great relationship even with your parents, or your brother, or your little sister. Think about these people. Think about your little sister, your little brother, your aunt that believes in you, your cousin that really believes in you. I mean, if you think about these people, really, this person that is making you think about killing yourself, you will not kill yourself. Because there are people that value you irrespective. There are people that, by the way, there are spaces where we are loved, evil to bure.
Exactly.
Hivyo tu
Without offering anything.
Bure without anything. Yani your presence too. You don't need to do anything. People love you. So this issue of relationships being able to make you feel like you are helpless, you are hopeless, should not be there. Your guardians care about you. Your friends care about you. Your neighbors care about you. Your aunt, your uncles care about you. The government cares about you. By the way, the government cares about you. Your institution cares about you. Even somebody who doesn't know you cares about you. Why? This is why we feel pained when we read such stories in the paper. You don't know this person, but you just feel pained. You just feel like something should have been done. You just feel like, it should not have gone like that. So let people know, and let everybody who is listening to me know that their life is valued. Their life is important. It is important to the community. It is important to the society. It is important to their relatives, even distant relatives, to their sisters and brothers, to their parents. It is important. So let them not look at just one person who has annoyed them to start thinking of committing suicide.
Now, Madam Joyce Mghoi, there are
Yes.
students who are listening to you, for example,
Yes.
from this university, that is Chuka University.
Yes.
And where should these students who may have these suicidal ideation seek help from?
Okay. Now, if you are listening to me and you are within, you can listen, you can hear me.
Yeah,
you,
right.
you are actually under my voice. That means you are quite near the university. Either you are a student or you are an outsider,
Right.
but you are within reach of the university. Within the university, we have counselors. We have counselors. We have psychological counselors that actually we help the students, and many times also we get contacts from even outside, and people want us to help them who are outsiders, who are around within our environment, and also we help them. They come to our office and we talk to them. So let them come to the Dean of Students office, which is in White House.
Yeah.
I think we call it White House, the Business and Recreation Center,
Right.
first floor. That is where the Dean of Students is, and we have counselors there. If anybody has suicidal ideation, if anybody has anything that is bothering them, any psychological challenge, anything that is bothering them in any way, let them visit there and they can be able to be helped. I'm also a psychological counselor. So if they get in touch with me, then I can still be able to help them. So we have talked about that we will need to talk to ourselves. We will need to visit the counselors.
Yeah.
Another thing that I want to conclude with is all of us will die at one time or another. Actually, death is for sure.
That's a message that
It will come. No, I mean,
When we talk about death.
at one time or another, death will come.
Exactly.
That is sure. If you have been born, then it is sure at one time or another you will die. Why go early? Why go early? Because we will go at some time. We will go when the time reaches. We will go. So why go early? Because going early is a waste of life. Is a waste of life. Because huko tutaenda tu. Lakini why should we go early? Si tukae hapa, tusiende mapema. Tukae hapa. Tukae hapa, and in case of relationships that are not working, I want the students to know this, and the youth, and any youth actually to listen to this, that this person you met and loved you and appreciated you, it is the same way you will meet another person that will also love you and appreciate you, and probably this other relationship will be better than the other relationship. So kindly let us not kill ourselves. Let us not kill each other. Let us not murder each other, because things will be better.
Thank you very much, Madam Joyce Mghoi. We have had a good conversation. People najua huko nje sasa wameelewa mambo venye iko. Actually huko nje mnasema kwamba unaoga na unarudi soko. Sio ati ukiacha hapo
unaoga, unajipaka mafuta na unajiweka spray na unarudi soko. Actually kuna mtu anangojea muachane na yule ndio akuchukue, because you know. So let the students not kill themselves. Exactly. Let the youth not kill themselves because of toxic relationships. Things can only get better. And anyone who is married, and most people that are actually married, the people they married is not their first in a relationship. Most people, it is not their first relationship. So please don't worry when your relationship ends. There is another one that is coming that is better. Yes.